What's going on, Faded Culture? My name is Sergio Barron, and today we are back with another haircut tutorial. Today I got my boy Manny here on the chair, and I'm gonna be breaking down my step-by-step process on how to do a mid-skin drop fade. I'm gonna add some texture on top, as well as with a little trim, and I'm gonna walk y'all down the step-by-step process on how to line up and trim the beard. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. If y'all do, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what y'all liked about it, or if y'all learned something from it. With that being said, let's just get right into this tutorial. So first I'm gonna go ahead and dampen up the hair with some water really well, just to make our sectioning that much easier on top. We do have our new Faded Culture sharpened and improved hair cutting shears. They are coming soon, so just be on the lookout for those. But anyway, first to start, I'm gonna create our profile section right along down the middle, probably about 2 fingers in length. That's how much I'm gonna split down the middle to set our guide. You could even put your finger right here on the other side where you're gonna want the sectioning to end. Then you start from the back and then just make sure it meets right at that spot, at your finger. Now from here, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the front part of the fringe. I'm gonna go ahead and just follow the shape of his head, and I'm gonna come up about 2 fingers from the scalp, and that's the desired length that I choose to trim. Just let go of that section, pick up the next section, just moving back along that middle profile section, and then just trimming away, matching what you cut out from the beginning to the rest of the hair. So all I'm doing is creating the shape of his head like that. So now I'm just kind of connecting the back length right here to that profile section that we cut. And now that we have chosen our length down the middle, we're just gonna finish connecting the rest of the length to that profile section that we chose. If you comb down everything and then pick it up from the front, you'll be able to see where it's short, and we're gonna match up the sides to that. But I like to start from the back. So I'm gonna pull out a section starting from the back crown area. I'm gonna find my guide, and it's about right there. That's where I'm gonna cut. And then he's gonna move forward about 1 finger in length at a time, pulling up a small section at a time until we reach the front. And now that we've straightened out the middle, I'm gonna move forward to this side of his head and connect that. And right here you could choose if you wanna follow the shape of the head, so you angle it like that. Or you could even raise it up straight if you want that squared look on top, and you're gonna leave more length right here along the side. So that's up to you. For this haircut, I'm gonna go ahead and just follow his head shape. And now we just gotta connect this left side right here to the middle. So now that we're done trimming the top, I'm gonna just go ahead and dry the hair really well just to prep it for our clipper work. All right, so we pretty much set up the canvas. We trimmed the top to about 2 fingers in length. Now I'm gonna lay down my first guideline with my trimmer, starting about right here at the temple peak area, and then I'm gonna just make sure it drops as I reach the back. So first you grab your trimmer and you do just that. So then you're gonna wanna make sure before moving on from this step that this line is as straight and as even as possible. So before moving forward, just take a step in front of him and from the back and kind of get a good visual of that first guideline. Make sure it's even, and then you're ready to move on to the next guideline. So for the next guideline, I'm gonna go ahead and just open the lever on the clipper all the way. And all we're doing is coming up about 1 finger width from that previous line that we set right here. And keep in mind, guys, that my clippers are 0 gapped as well, meaning they do cut broader than when they come from factory settings. And now after that one, I'm gonna just go ahead and, I'm talking to this one or that one? I'm talking to that one, but I'm showing this one, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the number 1 guard with the clipper lever still all the way open. And the same thing like we did right here with the lever open with no guard, we're just gonna come up about another finger width from that previous line. So now I'm gonna go ahead and throw on that 1.5 clip still with that lever all the way open. And all we're doing is coming up about another pinky finger in width from that previous line that we were at. And now here, I'm gonna try and finish connecting the rest of the length to that top length. So what I'm doing though, is kind of imitating the direction that my comb follows here, instead of kind of digging the guard into the top. As soon as that, where the comb leaves or separates from the head, that's where I'm gonna separate with the guard from the head. Just think of his head being a square shape coming up straight to the ceiling. And just keep in mind that you're only coming up about another finger in width while doing so. And for that, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the number 2 guard, still with that lever all the way open on the clipper. And it's mainly gonna be only doing cutting right here on the side since his hair was longer on the side. Back here, it was shorter from his previous haircut, so he's gonna have to let it grow out, of course. You probably won't hear any cutting through the back, but I'm gonna still run the clipper back there just to ensure we cut anything if there is. Now anything from here, if there does happen to be any more hair that hangs over the fade, I would just go in with my clipper over comb and just clean out anything else that hangs over. But again guys, when we're doing any clipper over comb, like I said, we're still imitating that square shape. So we're bringing the comb out vertically and then just trimming anything that hangs outside of the comb. And now we're pretty much left with these 2 guidelines. You will see some dark areas here and there, and those I'll consider as touch-up work as I move forward towards the end of the haircut. I'm gonna focus first on this top one, starting with the half clip, and I'm gonna open the lever to that 3/4 spot. All that 3/4 spot is a position right in between the lever being halfway and fully open. So just find that middle ground in between those 2 spots, and that's your 3/4 spot. And I'm gonna just start with using more so the corner of the clipper. And when I say corner, I'm not literally using the corner like that. I'm using more so a quarter side of that clipper, angling the clipper to help me take out that guideline. So just little by little, just go over that guideline till you softly start seeing it vanish away. For whatever reason, if you feel like it's not going away, feel free to close the lever a tad bit at a time until you actually see the clipper doing some cutting. Sometimes it does take some time. It won't just start disappearing right away. You gotta gradually blend it out. But like I said, if you don't see any cutting going on, then go ahead and close that lever till it starts blending out that line. And then whatever dark areas it reveals above, I'm not gonna go ahead and chase it with this because we'll end up taking the fade up too high. So I'm gonna just stay there where that guideline is. I'm just barely crossing over it up and down. And whatever dark areas are above, I'm gonna come back with the higher guard to finish taking it out. Whatever dark areas were revealed above, I'm gonna go ahead and come in with that 1 guard, still with that lever at that 3/4 spot, and continue blending that dark area out. We're left with this last guideline to blend out. It is gonna take me about 3 to 4 lever positions to blend out. So first I'll start with the clipper lever closed, then halfway, and then all the way open. Sometimes it'll take me 4 spots, so it'll be like at that 3/4 spots and then all the way open. But I gauge it from head to head. Some heads are more dense than others, so it just depends on the hair that you're dealing with. I'm gonna just focus on blending the line from about the temple to about behind the ear, and then I'll move forward till we reach the opposite side of the head and that line is completely blended out. So right there, I blended out the beginning of it. Now I'm gonna just open it halfway. Now I'm gonna just open it all the way. And you can see gradually that line just starts getting blended out. And now I'm gonna just move forward and focus on this section of his head. And then we're just gonna repeat the exact same process until we reach the opposite side and that first guideline is completely blended out. And now I'm gonna go ahead and proceed with taking out the rest of the bottom of the hair before shaving it. Now we're just gonna follow that up with our electric shaver. For now, we're always left with the touch-up work. So now I'm gonna take a step back on each side of his head, get a good broad view of the fade, and just determine if you need to come back in with any guard or lever positions to blend out any harsh lines that are still visible in the fade. So right here, what I'm gonna do is come in with my half guard. I'm gonna start with the lever position at 3/4 and then kind of gradually open it as needed. So here I'm just throwing on the 1 guard, put the lever all the way open, and then just come up a little higher in these darker areas above. I'm gonna go ahead and trim his beard down to about a number 3 and then just fade in the beard. And for the mustache, I'll probably trim it with a number 1 guard, lever all the way open. And now to fade it down, we're gonna use the same method that we used on the fade down here on the beard, except we're fading downwards. But again, just kind of setting in the guidelines about a finger width in separation as you gradually increase in guard length. For here, for the first line, it's just with that clipper, lever fully open. Next with the 1 guard, lever all the way open. Then I'm throwing on 1.5 guard, still lever all the way open. And here I'm gonna just kind of finish connecting whatever is left into that 3. They're real subtle, but you have that line right there, and then that first one. For that middle one, I'm gonna use that half guard, lever at 3/4. And then starting with that clipper lever closed, we're gonna gradually blend out that line as we open it a tad bit at a time. For the front hairline, in the beginning, I went ahead and trimmed the front area with the scissors just to kind of give it a more natural finish. I didn't want to set any hard lines for this haircut. So what I'm gonna do is just line up the sides, line up the facial hair before coming in with my straight razor to do the shaving. So we're pretty much done with the fading and the lining up with the trimmers. Now we're gonna go ahead. Y'all can't see, but my brother was flicking me off in back of the camera and distracted me, trying to throw me off my game because my tutorials are better than his, and he's trying to make mine less better than his, but they're not. So just stay watching mine and don't watch his.
I wasn't even recording.
Alright guys, so now that we're done with the fading process and the lining up process, I'm gonna go ahead and prep my straight razor for the shaving process. So just grab the Turkish straight razor. Y'all can find our tools and our products at fadedculture.co if y'all like to shop some of our stuff. We also got hats and shirts. if y'all want to buy some hats and shirts. For the Turkish razor, some people always get confused on how to insert the blade. I always snap off the edges of them. That way it makes it easier to slide. Put it on the other camera. Stupid. It's easier to slide it in there when it don't have those little borders, and then you just kind of set it in at whatever exposure you like. But there you have it. And also I'm gonna use our very own Faded Culture shaving gel. Apply a generous amount throughout all the areas that you will be shaving. Make sure with your opposite hand you're always tugging on the skin to create that tension, and it helps that razor slide that much more easier on that skin. And then remember guys, you're only going up just up until where you went with your trimmers. You're not going any further than that. It is easy to have that blade slide further. So it's up to you to kind of stop the razor. And then usually when I'm shaving the top of the facial hair, I'll start all the way from the cheekbone right under his eye. Usually they have a lot of peach fuzz in that area. Just to get a cleaner look, I'll take all that off. Unless the client says not to, but then I just do it anyway. And then once I've gone over the whole lineup I usually kind of comb it out. Sometimes some hair gets trapped in that lineup and it looks like it's straight, but it's not. So just make sure you comb everything out, and then I'll go over it one more time with my razor. And now I'm gonna go ahead and clean up his eyebrows. I do treat every section of the haircut as if it was the main haircut. So here at first, if I need any trimming, I'll go ahead and trim it. I don't feel like it needs trimming, but I'm gonna go ahead and line it up with the clipper first. With the trimmer. Now I'm gonna go ahead, add a little bit of texture right now that his hair is dry before re-wetting the hair, adding my product and styling it. For the texture, all I'm doing is grabbing a section at a time as if we were trimming it, starting from the back, and all we're doing is cutting 45-degree angle cuts into that section. We don't wanna take off length, we're just point cutting. You see there, move that section back because you don't want to over texturize. So you move it out the way, grab your next one, pull that up, and do the same thing. Now you're just gonna wanna blow dry everything really well out of his hair before adding any product. Now I'm gonna just re-wet his hair. I'm gonna use our very own Faded Culture matte clay. All I'm doing is grabbing about a dime, nickel size amount. We'll work it really well into my hand before applying it into the hair. Working it down into the root of the hair. And now on my blow dryer, I'm gonna set my heat to medium and my airflow to high right now. Yeah, now that I'm about 95% dry, I'm gonna go ahead and switch my settings to cold air to really lock in the hairstyle that I'm looking for. You can even add a little bit of hairspray to it to help lock in the style. And I don't wanna spray directly into the hair because I don't wanna wet it that much. I'm gonna just kind of spray it above his hair and let the hairspray just fall from above onto the hairstyle. Now this part is optional guys, but if y'all do want to use enhancements, I mix equal parts of hair dye with water into a little portable air gun. I'm gonna have all the tools and all the stuff that we use down in the description as well if y'all like to check them out down there. But for here, I don't want to add too much down here into the line. I'm gonna only apply it right here to this top corner area. Just like so. But that is pretty much it, guys, for this haircut tutorial on a mid-skin fade, texture on top, and a beard lineup. I hope y'all guys enjoyed it, and I hope y'all were able to take something from it. If y'all did, please let me know down in the comments what y'all did or didn't like, or maybe drop some suggestions on what other kind of tutorials y'all like to see on this channel. But again, guys, make sure y'all check out the rest of the videos on this channel. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. My name is Sergio Barron, this is Faded Culture, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next video. Peace.